Welcome, this is Joshua Benoist in Autodesk Product Support. So this is video 5 where we're talking about device block creation and the annotative scale. So let's look at the problem statement real briefly. Alright, so customer's creating a device and for some reason the device is not coming in at the appropriate scale. So let's look at his issue. Pause the video if you want to read this. So where we left off, we made this text annotative. It's coming into paper space through our viewport, and this text here that we drew in paper space originally, it looks as if they're the wrong size. Well, one of these is the wrong size. This one we drew before we realized that our text was not annotative. So we need to come in here. We've already made our text annotative. That was a global setting, but we still need to select on this one guy and make him annotative. And the annotative scale. I think here... Okay, so this here, text in paper space is not annotative anyway. So really, setting this to yes shouldn't have had any effect, and it didn't. It tells us the paper text height is 3/32 inch. So this text that we drew in paper space is the correct height. It's this one that's wrong, and so I had to look into why that was wrong. I found that when I select on the viewport and I come over here, it says standard scale custom, and it shouldn't, not with an annotative scale of 1/8 inch equals 1 foot. So this, we need to come here and set this to 1/8 inch equals 1 foot so that both of them say the same thing. Now notice our objects disappeared because the scale of our viewport changed. So if we zoom out, I'm going to double click inside the viewport, right click and say pan. I'm going to pan around until I find this guy. It's in here somewhere. There it is. So I'm going to stick him right next to that guy. Double click outside, exit, then double click outside. We'll zoom back in on him. Now you can see, now that I've got my viewport set up properly, now that I've got my text font and the text itself to be annotative here inside my model space, they actually come out to be the same size. So that's the theory behind annotative scale, is that any text I draw in paper space is going to match that in model space. But of course, if you go into model space, that text is pretty huge in model space. But at least when we plot it out, it's going to be the right height. So that's how the annotative scale works. That's the theory behind it. Now let's go apply that to devices. And we're going to go to model space here. And let's say anytime we create a new annotative object, a device, a block, some text, we want to, if we're going to put it on our tool palette, we need to have a source drawing. So I'm just going to start a new drawing. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save this drawing in a centralized location. So my save drawing dialog pops up. Everyone has this content folder right here. This is one that I've added for myself, but everyone's got this one there, this content. And you can go and create your own. I tend to put them back here in the styles drawings because set it next to the existing content that we have, and you might want to call this whatever your company standards are, but my company something like that, my company annotative symbol. Save it.